Hi everyone, we are live. It is the night, so I don't even have the lamps here. But I just want to say something very important. And this is not going to be a quick fix conversation, something that you can do like right away and immediately fix your life. I just want to suggest a couple of things. Some of the things that we have been engaging and working together towards a vision for your future, a vision for your 2026, preventing burnout, avoiding sadness, and encountering joy, right? So, this is going to be a real conversation today, and I hope that you are having an amazing day. For those of you who are watching this in real time, this video it is about our vision for 2026, and obviously we're in 2025 now, but think about this. You can make changes in your life and improve every single season of your life, right? So whether if you're watching in present time moment 2025, or if you're watching in 2026, or if you're watching in the middle of the year, it's never too late to make some adjustments and keep moving forward, right? Because we cannot plan for 2026 from a version of ourselves that is exhausted, that is overloaded, that it's emotionally quiet. And this is why this is important. This is going to be a 3-day live sessions with you. And I wanted to connect and I wanted to tell you that I'm so happy that you're here. If you started connecting, we just started. Please let me know in the comments or in the chat area where you're visiting us from. I'm from Houston, Texas. For those of you that, if you didn't know me, my name is Krys. My name is Krys Santiago, so I go by Krys over here. I didn't introduce myself before, right? And I have a channel that it's in Spanish. If you know anyone that is a Spanish speaker, I'm originally from Puerto Rico, and this is my Spanish is my first language. English will be my second language, right? So if you know anyone, I have Krys Santiago Español will be the word Spanish in Spanish. And that's how they can find me. I will put it under the description down below. So let me put it right now, by the way. Krys Santiago Español over here. There you go. I put it in the chat in case that you want to see it. So how are you emotionally right now, arriving from this year? And I want to give you a couple of details. Did you know that 7 out of 10 people feel exhausted and drained around this time of the year? Did you know that? So imagine that 10 people, wherever you go, movie theater, if you're at the grocery store, if you're at your house, the neighbors, the neighborhood, the school, everywhere you go, the hospital, 7 out of 10 people are experiencing these feelings: exhaustion over the last days of the year, mentally blurred, they don't know what to do. And then this is why this is important this time of the year, to reflect and think of what do you want to do, how do you want to improve, right? So most people, if you didn't know, when years ends or new, they think about new beginnings, new horizons, new things to do, right? But they're not trying to become millionaires. Maybe you, that's you, but they're trying to achieve different type of things. Their mental health, emotional burnout, stress and anxiety. The most common one, everybody wants to lose weight, and the gyms are packed of people trying to lose weight. Stress and anxiety, I think I've already said that. Financial anxiety, or looking for financial stability so they can breathe again. Relationships, regardless, is like someone that you're in love, or you're trying to find the perfect match, or trying to fix your relationship with your better half. It was just with your spouse or your wife. Setting boundaries with friends, with family members, with the people you love and appreciate. It is like a sense of purpose, focus, organization, and clarity, right? Everybody's looking for the same thing at the same time of the year. But in reality is that anytime throughout your life, throughout your year, when you feel like you're stuck, that you're not moving forward, or that you're making the same mistakes over and over and over again, it is a new beginning for you. And it starts by admitting like who you are, what do you do right, accept what it is, and what do you do wrong, and what things you can, or how you can challenge yourself, I should say, to move forward and do it better and do it scared. Sometimes we have to do it scared. Okay. So this is just me feeling, this is a human reality. I already told you that 7 out of 10 people end the year emotionally exhausted. Over 60% of adults feel they didn't do enough, even though they stayed busy all year. And burnout isn't just for work related, it's emotionally, it's mentally, it is spiritually. So, spiritual, mental, and emotional, you can feel drained. You can feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like you have too many goals to conquer, but everything starts with habits, habits that will make you move forward in life. Okay. So I know that it's December, and if you're not watching this in real time, it won't matter because it always applies. December or January are the months that usually everyone around decides that they want to reflect. The most important part that to ask is, are they being honest with themselves? Because they don't want to disappoint anyone, but the truth, in reality, is like most of the months people feel guilty about something they did or something that they didn't do, right? Does anyone else feels like December and January shows up suddenly and you're like, and you feel like disappointed? You disappointed everyone around you? Tell me yes or no under the comments or in your chat. Let me see. Sometimes it happens to me that you feel like you disappointed someone that you appreciate. Usually, when you reflect on or you feel bad about disappointing people, is the people that you care, because when you don't care about someone specifically, literally you don't care about what they think. So that's another thing. Okay. Maya Angelo said, you can really know where you're going until you know where you have been. And there's a phrase, oh, thank you for sharing that with me, Hector. Thank you, appreciate it. So many times, sometimes we feel like that, right? Like we're disappointing different type of people. And that's sad, right? That doesn't make us feel like happy or joyful. Someone said, yes, Luz over here. I feel you. I see you all. We put a heart over here for you all. Thank you for sharing. There you go. Okay. So she said, you can really know where you're going until you know where you have been. There's a phrase that we use at Puerto Rico. It's like people that do, if you don't know your story, you're going to be condemned to repeat it over and over again. The same thing happens with your brain. The same thing happens with your experiences. The same thing happens with mistakes too. And this is a deep conversation. I'm not going to go into it, but imagine that your brain has some routes in it. So when you open Google Maps, right, you see the routes and you see the streets. The same thing, when you make a decision, you start creating some paths in your brain, right? And it's leaving some lines. But if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't make different choices, every time you make decision, A is going to take you to B, and B to A to B. The brain is not going to have an alternative route, like for example, when you connect to go to a place, so they can take a different action step. So if you don't stop and reflect, that's why you keep making the same mistakes again, because you're not challenging yourself, sharing habits and structures and systems to remind you the next time that I want to punch someone, I will not punch that person. The next time I'm going to take a deep breath, I'm going to take a walk, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to do this, is to put systems in place to create a new path in your brain to react a little bit differently. Another way you can support yourself is with faith, with prayer, breathing exercises, and so much more that we can go on and on and on and on. So when we're planning for 2026, I want you to think it's like getting in the car. And maybe you need to do a 4-hour drive to a place that you have never been there, right? And then in that place, guess what? You turn on the car, you don't put your GPS, you don't know where you're going. You're going to drive. Yes, you're going to drive, but who knows where it's going to take you? Who knows where you're going to be, right? The same thing happens with our lives. If we go without goals, without structure, without systems, you're going to continue bouncing from one place to the other one, but with no direction and no goals. And then you question, like, why didn't I achieve the goals that I had in mind? But in reality, you didn't put the systems in place. It's like having a diet, but then you have all your candies and you didn't prepare, you didn't hide your candies, and you have them in front of you. So you put systems in place, you hide the candies, you substitute with mints or with gum, something completely different. So whenever you have that craving, you go for the safe route, for the good route, what is convenient or accurate towards your goal. But if you don't do it, guess what? It's going to be an epic fail. And then we feel mad, and then it causes lack of confidence. And we can go on and on and on and on. Okay, I want to leave you with that thought. So you know your story, you know what you do right, you know what you don't do right. So we can improve. Let's stop and reflect. And this is where many people get it wrong. To rush into the 2026, say that I'm going to achieve this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but then poof, they feel exhausted again. Life hits you in the back. You have a lot of work, and then what are you going to do? So you need to start with realistic expectations, looking towards 2026, but you can look forward if you haven't looked back and you haven't reflect on what you did right, what you did wrong, and things that you can improve. And I'm saying this out of a place of love, not of hate, not of judgment. And that's one of the other things that I wanted to remind you. Do not stop judging yourself for the good things and the bad things. And I know it's so easy to say it and hard to do it. This is not a place out of judgment. This is a place out of grace, okay? Okay, so let's continue. So imagine that you're driving a car, and I know that I put that analogy already, but if we compare that your body is like a car and there's a red thing popping up, you're trying to drive, you turn on your car, and there's a warning light that turns on in your car. Maybe it's flashing, maybe it's just like a red signal, right? And it's a light that doesn't go away. Is it the wheels? Is it oil change? Is it something wrong with the tire pressure? Is it something wrong with the tires? Is it something wrong with your engine? Ooh, yay. Who knows, right? But that doesn't mean that your car is ruined forever, right? It means that something needs attention. Ignoring that light and continuing to drive doesn't make it disappear or better. So I'm going to stop right there, and I want you to think about, you ignore the light. Maybe it's the oil and filter. Maybe you have something else. Maybe it's a flat tire that you didn't want to pay attention, and you start driving. The car is not ruined yet, but if you don't pay attention to those little details, it's going to cause you trouble later. The same thing happens. I want you to think about your car, your body, and your decision making, right? So when you're making decisions, if you're like a car, if you ignore the red flags and the signs all over around you, even God can send you signals. Anyone can send you signals. But if you ignore those, eventually you're going to have consequences of your behavior. The same thing happens with the car. The car is not ruined yet. It just needs maintenance. In your life needs maintenance too. Okay. So planning for 2026 without reviewing 2025, what worked best, what didn't work, is the same thing. And it works the same exact way. It is a reflection. Okay. So many people at the end of the year saying, I didn't do anything this year. Maybe you didn't measure the things. And sometimes I do that. And then when I take a minute and I reflect on all the things that I accomplished, all the things that I conquered, then I'm like, it wasn't that bad, right? If you have a better half around you that supports you, they will make you see the good things when you can't see them. They will make you see the ups and not the downs in your life, okay? So when you look honestly towards 2026 and towards looking back on what happened on 2025, if you survived emotionally, if you took care of too many things, but except for yourself, you didn't take care of yourself. If you lived in autopilot for months. So autopilot, it is, remember that we were talking about the brain, right? Your brain knows how to go. Have you ever drive your car and you don't know how to make it to your work? It is like your subconscious mind is taking care of the rest, and you forgot about how you got there, how you did it, who drove there. It is the same thing that happens with your life. When you live your life in autopilot, you continue doing the tasks that you know how to execute and how to do them. But then in reality, you're empty because you don't know where you're going. Autopilot is taking care, but you're literally surviving. And this is why I was telling you, prepare your brain, your body, your mind, and your soul to go from point A to point B and give another route, alternative route, C, D, B, go back to B. Then you can go to C, D, Z, and go all over the place making different type of choices and then reflecting on which ones work best, right? For you. So closing this year isn't about judging yourself. Sometimes we stay stabbing yourself on all the wrong things you did instead of focusing on the, oh, Oh, someone said yes. Thank you very much. On focusing on making progress over perfection. Every time you make a new step, a new decision, a new choice, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just need to be moving forward, progress over perfection, right? And it is about also acknowledging the version of you that did the best she could, the best he could, with that they have, right? Same what happens with your families and your parents when you encounter or you're trying to judge someone for what they did or what they're not doing. Think about sometimes they're doing, look at their past, look at their families, look at what they experienced when they were little, when they were your age. They're doing the best of the extension of what they can with what they have. If they're bad, okay, they are bad, but maybe there's a past behind, there's trauma. Not justifying everything, but just taking time. Do you think anyone in their conscious mind will make bad decisions knowing the repercussions or the consequences of the bad decisions? That's kind of messed up. And only like crazy people would do that. People who won't reflect on their behavior, who won't reflect on what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. I truly believe there's a nature of you that wants to do good with just lack of systems, lack of having time or reflection time to fix or address what's wrong. Okay. So you are not behind. If you're experiencing all of this, you're just tired. Just tired. You just need to stop believing in autopilot and make room for the better version of yourself. But this doesn't happen like magic. In 2026, as a chief, all your goals, all the things you want in this life, voila. Other type of way of saying it is like then they talk about God's plan if you're a Christian, God's plan in your life. And I truly believe God has a plan for you, for me, and for everyone around, right? But I truly believe that we have to take action. We need to follow the signs. We need to hustle. We need to look what to do, when to do it. It's not going to rain like rainbows and sunshines. The money's not going to rain over you. You need also to pursue and open the doors for opportunities so you can see, you can be fruitful and you can achieve God's plan in your life. Not all the time. There's going to be seasons where you need to stay steady, where you need to pray, where you need to wait and hold on tight and believe. But there's going to be seasons that God is calling you to. There's a story that they say like, God, why you forget about me? And I think it was a flooding or something like that. I can't remember very well. And then it was like, I send you the boat, I send you a fisherman, I send you this, I send you that, and you said no to all of them. I didn't abandon you. You didn't want my help, right? So pay attention to those signals and signs. And also, there's another part of the world that talks about, and remember, since I was a school counselor, I have the mental health ingrained in me, I have the faith as well. So they talk about the manifestation, the universe, and all of this, the law of attraction. The more you focus on the good things, the better will be, because it's like you unlock your power, you unlock your brain to a new route to tell you that there's a better future, there's another options, there's another route, there's another thing. So if you focus on dogs, you're going to see dogs everywhere you go. The moment that you buy that car that you wanted, you're going to see that car. So it's going to attract, your brain is going to unlock, and it's going to attract what you want to see. So that's also the power of the affirmations. But the affirmations itself, without taking action, won't take you anywhere. Obviously, will level you up a bit, but then eventually you have to do your part. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it's making sense. And you, can you tell me a yes or a no in the chat to see? Let me see. Is this making sense? If this resonates with you, just keep me posted. If you are a Christian, and then we were talking about like we're in the Bible. Some people, thanks for the recommendations. Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2, write a vision and make it plain. Some people think like thinking about vision boards and doing a plan for, regardless if it's paper, if it's digital, whatever, setting goals for the new year, for the new you, for the new season of you, because this doesn't have to be in 2026. Even in the Bible, you're going to find something that says, write the vision, make it plain. And it's going to talk about that. So the more you can see that vision, the better, because it's going to help you to review, reflect, and conquer the goals you have. It requires systems. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Okay, so let's go back. Closing a year well has nothing to do with achievement lists. Sometimes people make huge lists, but they don't take action. So it's about identifying what drained you, what sustained you, and what you can no longer carry. So I want you to do this exercise with yourself. What drained you this 2025? What sustained you? So you can hold on tight to that. Thank you. I see the yes and the hearts and the happy faces. And what no longer carry, what you can no longer carry. Ay, de nada. And I see someone in Spanish. You're welcome. Okay. So before planning, we reflect. Number one, before planning, we reflect. Before dreaming, we release. You need to let go of the past. Before planning, before dreaming, you need to release. For example, in think I'm sorry. Then think of that you're going to there you go. The retirement plan. Thank you for everything. Yes. There you go. I see you. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Okay, so imagine that you're going to the grocery store. This is something simple, something really basic. So let's put it simple. You go to the grocery store, but your trunk is packed and full with stuff, regardless if it's stuff that you need or stuff that you don't need, right? When you get back to from with your cart from the grocery store, where you're going to put the things, you're going to start improvising. Passenger seat on top of your children, on top of the purse, on top of the backpacks, on top of this. You're going to get mad. You're going to feel frustrated. The boxes are going to start, or the bags are going to start. You know, everything is going to be kind of messy. So the same thing happens with your life. If you start dreaming, but you don't release the past, you don't release your burdens, you don't release and you don't open up for new opportunities, you have the same attitude, the same mindset. How this is going to work? It's not going to work. I can guarantee you that, because you need to let go. So before planning, we reflect. Before dreaming, we release. Before moving forward, we let go, right? So because we want to heal, we don't want to repeat mistakes, right? And you won't heal if we repeat the same patterns over and over. And you don't want to go from point A to point B all the time. Boom, 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 bouncing. No. What we will name, we carry. If you don't name, that's why in counseling, they talk a lot about name it, name what you're feeling, say it out loud or write it down in a paper, and then release it. Okay, I'm exhausted today, but I have to go to work. Let's do it. Yes, you go, girl. So the same thing happens with you. Name it, but release it. Nobody's telling you to be the Iron Man or Superwoman or Wonder Woman, Superman. As it does, so like God doesn't speak in urgency, he speaks with clarity, he speaks in process. So if you believe, pray as well around or throughout this journey. So let's do something together right now. I know that I exceed my time. I'm going to try a little bit to go a little bit faster. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or in the chat over here. I want you to write down, I no longer want to live from poverty, from negativity, wrong mindsets of judgment, envy, and all the things that sometimes we do that are negative, that don't help us, addictions, don't help you to move forward, right? And what are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive abundance, joy, love, righteousness, and all the good things from this world? Write it down as well. So, closing the year. Tomorrow we'll see you at the same time for the second part of this journey together. Closing the year well is not about blaming yourself. When you reflect and you look back on 2025, what went right and what went wrong is not about blaming yourself or judging yourself. You need to let go. Because if you don't let go of shame or guilt, guess what happens? That won't let you move forward. That won't let you move forward. You need to let go. Okay? Even when people hurt you, I am so sorry. I'm going to say sorry for them, but you need to let go. Closing the year is also about recognizing yourself. And then I have a final question for you. What part of you needs to be recognized before you think about 2026? Tomorrow, pay attention. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about something crucial. Why is not a motivation problem? It's a structure problem. It's your burnout. It is your lack of organization. And day after day, how to create a vision that gives you direction but no pressure. Direction but no pressure, because when you start knowing yourself, you're going to build system to support you. And sometimes I have to go back very often to my systems in place because I'm a go-getter and I like to get things done. Okay. So this isn't about promising more. And I want you, Mira, to keep that in your head, in your back burner over here. It's about living with more clarity. And the more clarity you can get over your life, over your goals, over your future, you can set up your GPS into the right direction. Oh, I hear amen. Love the recommendations. Blessed life. Oh, thank you so much. So, thank you so much for your time. If you like this time that we spend together, don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And the next thing that I need to ask you, if you think about anyone who can benefit from this video, this is how you can support us to create more content for you. So, share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you tomorrow at the same time. If you can make it, guess what? No problem. You just have to connect again later so you can watch the replay. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for coming.